I started doing Molly UN much for the same reason I started doing crack cocaine. All of my friends. Seriously though, like at the end of sophomore year, I quickly discovered I could either join Molly UN and have friends, or like not and die alone and sad. It was really bad. Like Hannah, Isabel, Nina, Sophia, everyone that I like knew had joined Molly UN or was planning to, like Sarah and John. So it really wasn't much of a decision. Just kind of did. I mean, I've been on debate before, so I'd also obnoxiously put down Molly UN for like, oh, you guys like actually care about style and the way that you say things. And upon joining Molly UN, I realized like that was actually important for like, interacting with people in the real world, maybe. So I really enjoyed it just from the start. I mean, at the first meeting, we ended up breaking up to do practice speeches, and I totally embarrassed myself because I was Israel and I admitted to having nukes, and someone pointed it out to me, and I thought I would die of shame. And then I realized that none of you would remember it the next day, so I came back and like pretended that didn't happen, and it was awesome. And then since then, I've only been factually correct in all of my speeches ever, including the ones I made up. Yeah, I really just loved Molly UN from the start. Horace Homonk, my first conference, was interesting, and I thought that's what all conferences were going to be like, where they gave you food. It's like, okay, cool. Debate tournaments didn't do that. Like, clearly superior. They had really good sandwiches.
Yeah.
That was the only phenomenal. But then after that, I went to Busan, was my next conference. I was like, okay, now I know what I want to do with my life. Because it was just the most amazing combination of people that I loved being hilarious and having great times, and getting awards and have people tell me that I'm really smart and good at things. I'm like, I could get used to this. So I stuck with it, obviously. At the end of the year, my junior year, I definitely wanted a leadership position because I figured it would justify the crazy amount of time I was putting into Molly UN already. Like for senior year, my parents, I knew were gonna crack down on me for college stuff. And if I was just a member on Molly UN, like spending 5 hours a night just talking with people wouldn't cut it. But if I was on leadership, I could say we were talking about Model UN and how to run it, and then it would be totally okay. So that was part of it. The other part was I'm power hungry. Only 2 heartbeats away from SecGen. Thought it was a pretty sweet deal.
HO, you were right.
So I decided to try out for delegate trainer, and I stressed about my speech for actually a month. Just as soon as elections were announced. I don't know what that symbol is. I'll see. Oh, I'm getting there. So stressed out for my speech for a month. I wrote it down on a piece of loose leaf paper because I was convinced like the computer would steal the heart from my words. I wanted it to be meaningful. So I wrote it on loose leaf, and of course you can't correct things on loose leaf, so I rewrote it on loose leaf. And then I spent the entire week leading up to elections just writing and rewriting it until I got this master copy on loose leaf. That would just be the neatest thing, and of course, like every time I rewrote it, I added a word and just like played it over in my mind or said it out loud during class, and it's like, no, that doesn't sound right. So I get there, and I get to elections, and no one else, or so a little bit before elections, I go out with one of the seniors, Mustafa, and he's like, what you need is just to calm down, Miriam. Like, it's all gonna be fine, you just need to calm down. So he walks me to a deli a couple blocks away from Sty. He's just like, get something and eat it, and then you'll be fine. So of course I get coffee. Like, I'm a junior. That's like fuel. So I get a coffee, and then nerves are starting to kick in. So I'm a little bit jittery. And at the first speech of every conference, I'm always jittery. And it was the same exact thing here. And I'm like, the coffee was not helping. So start to go back into style. I'm like, shit, I can't be late, I can't be late, I can't be late. So of course I spilled the coffee all over the front of my shirt. Just all over. Like, it was now a coffee colored shirt. So I quickly run to the bathroom, dab it off, like, this shirt is not coming clean. I'll just like have to live with it, can't change into it. I'll just face the consequences. So I'm looking at everyone else give their speech for delegate trainer, and no one else is reading from a paper. Everyone else is like just speaking and talking, and of course, like it makes sense. You want someone who can speak extraneously, and that's not extemporaneously. Thank you. Yes, and so you want someone like that to be able to teach the next generation. So I'm like, okay, well, we're not going with this loose leaf thing. Gonna rewrite a speech in my head. Forget everything I wrote. Just gonna like wing it. So, jump down over the railing. Of course, I fall. Start the speech with my awesome words. You should elect me because I'm smooth. To be honest, even at the time, I kind of blacked out. I can't recall what I said so much. It just comes in sort of snippets. Like, I remember things that I said. I'm just like, did I actually? Like, I broke off in the middle of explaining how I was going to teach strategy and how great my strategy lessons were going to be to tell everyone. I just spilled coffee on myself. I thought it was important for you guys to know that. Launched right back into. And we're also going to focus on networking ability. Went from there just to how much fun I had at Model UN. So I got out of my speech, and I was one of the last people to talk. And everyone's casting ballots, and we have to go out, wait outside for everyone, for all the seniors to tally up the votes. And I'm shaking, like, I use the words like a leaf, but I've never actually seen a leaf shake. But I'm completely jittery, like, actually just tell everyone, I fucked it up so bad, I fucked it up so bad, I wanted that so much, I wanted it so much. I'm just like, wow, I hate you, Miriam. So go home on the subway, still just shaking on the train, look like a crazy person. It's great. Get home, check my email, and apparently I'd won. And I started crying because I love you guys. Is why I started crying, and is why I might start crying again. Except I don't cry in public, so screw that.
This is technically public. This is your house.
Private residence.
Like I said,
All y'all
it's a
are
safe
trespassing.
Breeding love and affection.
So this year, as delegate trainer, Model UN just got 10 times better because all the time that I'd previously been spending with my friends talking about Model UN, that was me being a loser. Now it was me being leadership and in charge. I've loved all the time I've spent with AJ and Isabel deciding spots, which is mostly just like talking smack about you guys.
3 hours of talking.
3 hours of just like, Mandy, we could give her a spot. No, she kind of sucks. Actually, we talk a very different type of smack. It's just like, I think she would be really good in this committee. AJ would go like, no, she was so great in this committee. And not just for Mandy, like all of you, if you guys ever think we don't like you, you should listen to us try to decide spots where we fight about like over the best spots on behalf of you guys. Just like, no, like, Ayumi needs that one. So that was tremendous amounts of fun. Of course, the conferences are really what makes Model UN for me. In addition to all the time we get to spend with each other, especially AJ. I've roomed with you at too many conferences, and at each one, sometime like Saturday night, I'll just be like, Isabel, remind me, I'm never doing this again. Never doing this again. When we draw up rooming, make sure I'm not with AJ. It'll be sometime after she bitch slapped me across the face, or sometime after she like assaulted me while I was in a towel, like just hit me even though I was suddenly naked. Slammed a door into my head. Under your direction. Actually, to tell the previous story. So at Busan, earlier this year it was, I had Isabel's phone, and I was just going to take pictures of things in her room because I was messing around with her phone. So I took a couple pictures and the flash was off. And I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if I took a picture of AJ sleeping?
And I never sleep.
Because AJ never sleeps. It's about like 2 a.m. at this point. We're both amazed she's asleep. And I'm like, okay, I'll just take a photo of it. Like, take a photo, no flash. Go up to take a huge photo, just her face. Flash goes up directly in her eyes. AJ comes awake in a second and and just shrieks and launches herself out of bed at me. I'm still holding Isabel's phone, so I don't want it to get broken. I'm not doing anything, because in my head, I'm also that immediate thing of whatever she's about to do, I deserve it for waking her up. And in one fluid motion, she's out of the bed and just bitch slaps me right about the face, and then backhands me. It's just the sort of, it was hard, and it hurt like hell. So I'm like, okay, that was fair. But she's like not done. She still has no idea what's happening. I think she thought she was still being attacked. So I'm backing up in this small hotel room that's already been flooded with all of our things. Like, there's no room to maneuver. I'm like tripping over an office chair that gets knocked over. AJ like pauses long enough to point to the office chair on its back, like completely fine, and screams, "Look what you've done!" I don't know what she thought I'd done to the chair. It was just on its side.
But I start like that in the morning.
So she starts freaking out at Isabel, who's like hiding in the bathroom all the time. I think she'd been washing her hair or something like that, comes out, sees this stuff, clearly not gonna go out there and interfere. AJ like screams at Isabel also, "Look what she did! Look what she did!" And goes back to the bed and gets one of those long round pillows that all the hotels have for absolutely no reason. They don't even look good. And just starts swinging wildly at me. Just like, I am going to kill this woman. Like, oh yeah. Because she'd just woken up. She had no idea what was going on, but she just knew she was furious at me. So she's just swinging, and it's like kind of like in The Shining when Jack is swinging the axe wildly around, and he's not connecting with anything, and you don't know why he expects it to, because there's nothing really in front of him, and like the small child is like many feet away, but it's just like, I'm gonna swing because I'm angry. So she's crawling over the bed, and I finally just like push her back into her own bed and hold her down. I'm like, AJ, you're going back to sleep now. And she says something along the lines of, "But I'm so angry." Like, AJ, it's time for you to go to sleep. And she just does. She just does. So,
Did I sleep through this?
no, you were
there. You were terrified.
Yeah, Miranda was also in our room, much like Isabel. She was watching from the corner, sort of how all hotels have that door that opens into a tiny hallway with nothing there. Miranda was just standing in the hallway, like, no one's gonna come back here. This is the last place they'll look. But, so even more than that, I've loved all of our random escapades. And
Escapaloozis.
Escapaloozis. Escapaswackins. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't do this. I feel like I should wrap up, but I just have so much more to say. So I will. I'm gonna do shout-outs now. So AJ clearly already got hers. Isabel, you managed to be very chill and yet also somehow on top of things. Not sure how that worked out. We'd call a meeting, you'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll drop by. You'd drop by and just get everything done. You're a cool girl, Isabel. Hannah, for being the sane one in the room. All of you all of you underclassmen don't know what a sec meeting looks like, but it's more tangent than meeting. We'll start off talking like, so guys, we have some things we need to discuss. AJ will have like very nice schedule all planned out, a nice agenda, and be like, okay, item 1, Steinmunk shirts, and then 1 minute later it'll be like, no, alligators are better than crocodiles. Alligators are the best.